Today we are going to be ranking all of the prime moments and just basically getting a feel for them all. We've done a few reviews on them over the past couple of years. We have done X amount of moments reviews and we know pretty much most of them. Some of the new ones we're kind of having to have a little bit of a guess, but we can imagine we have used, I'm pretty sure, every other version of them at this moment in time, so we're at a good level. I've moved my camera in a little bit so you can see kind of the big, all the borders on the tier list, and these will be put into parts because unfortunately you can't put all the 105 in there. It has to be in parts on this, so I will kind of stop at certain points and kind of just change the tier list, so you will have to kind of skip through or whatever to actually see all of them. But we will go with the first batch, which I think we can get about 37 per one. If I go up to 42, I know it goes too many files, so let's get into it then. So we have got a good amount from the first start. It is going to be in name order, so if you're looking for a specific card, go by their name. Straight away then, let's have a look and see if some of the easy ones. So straight away, we're looking at Cantona. Pretty easy. He's going to be in that S tier. There is no doubt about it. The man is fantastic. Great dynamic. Really happy that he's in the game now. He's a brilliant card. If we're looking at best, again, I would put him in this S tier this year. I feel like him and Garincha definitely have a place in a big meta team this year. Very handy cards indeed. I am absolutely loving more of the dynamic images, including trophies. Obviously, the big one is the World Cup. We've seen it with Casillas. We've seen it with Cannavaro, Carfu. Again, very good cards. We've got Mr. Hullet Gang being the last one here, obviously going in the S. Eto as well, again another fantastic ad a couple years ago. Really happy this card's in there because he is absolutely exquisite. We're looking at big boy Cruyff over here. You've got no arguments. Same with our man Eusebio here. We have got, is there any of the big ones? Garincha, as we've already mentioned. Just checking who else we've got in terms of the top guys. I think that's it, and we will kind of explain as we go forward with the rest of them. But the looks of it, all of the main ones that you'd imagine, your R9s, your Hullets, your Cruyffs, all of them are obvious S tiers. It's just natural that they're going to be X amount of million. Matthias being another one. So let's go through them then. So Baggio, again, stat-wise looking good. I feel like he's definitely in a category himself, which I think is going to be the A. I feel like we will kind of be harsh on some of them, and like I say, comment down below if you disagree, if you want somebody in a different tier. It's all opinion based, and this is how I personally play with my main team. If I was to accompany or kind of change my tactics for them, then obviously that would be different. For instance, Puyol, defending, incredible. You cannot argue that his tackling is exquisite, but the pace, unfortunately, just does not match up with that. So for me, I'm going to go with, I'm debating C or D because it is kind of how you use him. I feel like there may be cards that might go up and down depending on where the list kind of goes. Carfu this year, I think most definitely has got himself probably on the brink of A and S, but I'm going to go with the S tier, and we're going to have to just whack his man Carlos Alberto, as both of them personally are very the same. They are just literally the same. And a new ad that personally, based upon his mid, his prime and his base, he's got to be. I am absolutely in love with Casillas this year. Very good card. And on to a bit more of a disappointing one. Czech mid-card really put me off him because his mid-card, and I don't care what anybody says, was atrocious for me. Really bad. Could have been the games, could have been just that time of FIFA, but that really kind of swayed me off this card. So for me, I'm going to go with a B tier. Again, you could argue up, you could argue down. I think keepers are one that is so opinion based that literally it doesn't matter. I can have a keeper who's 80 rated and he could have a sensational game compared to somebody's team of the year Donnarumma, or vice versa. Could be the other way around. Next up, we're going to go for Sol Campbell. And Sol, I think for me, he would, if didn't have so much pace, go in the C tier. I'm going to go B with him. I actually quite like him in terms of his pace. You add the anchor on, you whack a shadow on, you get the +5, +10. You've either got 89 or 94. Can't argue with that really. Cannavaro, incredible, absolutely incredible. Again, very much like kind of how I would have rated Carfu, kind of on that A and S tier, but I think for me, A tier most definitely, because I think really the S tier centre back has got to be Maldini. And then I have seen another centre-back, which I don't know where he's gone, in Rio Ferdinand. Again, another one that is probably really close. I'm personally going, just because we've used him, up in the S tier. I think this card is fantastic. His natural just play is sensational. Dalglish, we've managed to have a go of him. Again, top end striker, gotta be in there. Same with Del Piero. He has been an absolute breath of fresh air this year. Really good throughout all of his versions. Beckham. See, Beckham's a funny one because obviously he is he's just a legend. In general, he's just a complete legend. But unfortunately, his FIFA card is just absolute, yeah. I think everybody kind of gets it with him. And it is a shame because naturally his abilities don't come through, very much like a Xavi, Iniesta, in terms of where his attributes lie. He's not a pacey guy. He can shoot, he can pass more than anything, and he can cross. Unfortunately, on FIFA, if you don't have pace, it just doesn't work out. So for me, he's going to have to go in that B tier because you can make him useful. You definitely can make him useful. But in terms of absolute main team, he's just not going to be in it. Drogba, cracking, don't really need too much explanation for him. Same with Butra, he's definitely got to be in that A tier. I think Fernando Torres is a funny one, purely for the fact that he is a bit of half and half. Some games he is exquisite, and then other games I don't even notice a difference between some of the gold strikers. But we are going to go with the A tier. I feel like, again, for him, he's about B to A tier. But we're going to be given the benefit of the doubt with the A tier, as I feel like a lot of people will agree with that. Desai, definitely A to S tier, but I'm going to go with the A for this one. Giggs, again, pace-wise was good. Got a bit of passing on him, which wasn't awful. Overall, left mid, left wing, only okay. So he's going to have to go down with Carlos Puyol. But again, I feel like you definitely could argue either or. Gattuso, it's a funny one because Gattuso starts off so well. His base, actually, for a base CDM, is very nice. He does quite a lot of good jobs in and around that midfield. As he kind of gets up, he just becomes a little bit lackluster. Like, we see a 90 rated of him. If he was 92, 93, you'd argue that he's a very good CDM. So for me, he's going to have to go in this B tier. Then we look at Blanc. Again, he is a funny one because naturally, he shouldn't be good. Like, he's quite blocky, doesn't really have too much on his passing. Pace-wise is okay, can go up to 93. Defensively, fantastic. Physically, okay. But his animations are just incredible. They genuinely make this card go up a tier, 100%. Herrero, very much like a Puyol. I feel like he is more C to B, but unfortunately, he's going to be sticking in that C role. Gerrard, just go with a B straight away. Barnes, again, is another one. He's more of a left wing than what I would kind of go with Giggs. Just naturally, how he plays, he just seems like he can do it a bit better. So for me, for that, I'm going to go with a B for this one. Bergkamp, again, if he had 90 plus pace, you'd be looking at a very good card here. He's got very good stats all round. Physicality a little bit lacking, but everything else is pretty up there. So for me, I'm going to whack him in the A tier. I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt with this one, and hopefully we've got that one right. Baresi, we're just going to go with C, and soon to be followed by Nesta. Ballack, again, one that was, I think when it was, I want to say FIFA 19, FIFA 20, when it was tall and fast players, Ballack got a shout out. Him, Hullet, Vieira, then obviously had the Matthiases. They actually were very good. They were top of the top. Then since then, he's kind of just lost his way a little bit. For me, I think I'm going to put him in the A tier just purely for his name and how good his card actually is. But again, I think for me, he is slowly dropping off in terms of actually people using him. I don't really see it that much. Then we go on to Ashley Cole. Again, to be fair, I say for the name that he is, but really, invincible year, then obviously going on to win with Chelsea. He has had a great trophy year. Whether I'd say he's above 91, 92, knowing that Roberto Carlos is the rating that he is, and then also knowing that left back and right backs just don't get high rated. They never do, unless it's the end of the game. You never see a 95 left back, right back, normally anyway. I can imagine that will change very soon, but for me, I'm going to have to stick him in that B tier. If we're looking at Deco, Again, left mid, 100% not. He is still definitely a cam more than anything, but unfortunately not quite a useful one. Essien, solid, all-round, very, very good player. Was hoping that we would have got his moments rather than his prime, but absolutely fantastic player. Guardiola, animations are just completely off, and Crespo, we are going to go with that B tier, as for some reason I just don't get on with him. So this is the first one. If you want to have a quick little pause, have a look who you've got, want to comment anybody different, I'm going to go and load up the second tier, and hopefully we can get this done in 3. So we have got the next set here. We've gone from Hadji all the way down to R9, obviously. So let's get, again, all of the big ones in. R9, straight to the top. We've used him, and oh my god, he is, again, fantastic. Next up, Ronaldinho. A little bit disappointed that he is left wing again this year, but again, I can never be mad at the card, and he is the one that I'm wanting. Every year, Ronaldinho is the guy that I want, especially the moments version, so hopefully we can get there. 99 Pele, loving the dynamic. Got a Brazilian trio here, fantastic. Maldini, definitely. Then, we're looking for, we've got 2 push gases. If you do notice anybody that's not here, let me know and I'll comment and I'll kind of put them in the tier there, as I don't know why there's 2 push gases, because I've put them in a folder and it's not got a different name. We'll put 2 of them in, why not? Then, who else have we got? Matthias, absolutely incredible box to box. Then we've got Owen, Petit Nesta, Roberto Carlos. Absolutely love it. The Brazilian icons genuinely are just, they are so incredible. Roberto Carlos then, so let's go for Nesta. Unfortunately, to be fair, I want to get rid of the C tier, the D tier, because I feel like the S is like top premium of premium. You've got A that are very good, B that are medium, and then C that are bottom. I don't think there's many D that are that bad that they're like in their own category. I feel like every icon has got a purpose. It's just whether they are out of the 4 stages. I think putting 5 just breaks it down too much, and I think it just overcomplicates it. So we'll get rid of the D tier with the next one, because I just don't think it's necessarily relevant. Then let's go with Hadji then. So we'll go from left to right here. If we're looking at Hadji, left mid, again, some decent stats. He is more of a cam more than anything. I'm going to go with a B tier with him. Personally, cam is definitely where I'd go. Left mid, not as much. And he's got a good link to, obviously, his son. Henri, dynamic looking, cold as ever. And he's always a funny one, because I feel like Henri, as his history shows, he should 100% be in here. But for whatever reason, they just make him somewhat of a bit different sort of striker. He just doesn't have that power. I want to say this year looks better. The dynamic obviously killing it. Still 94. I want to say he had a 95 at some point, but I could be wrong if I've not fact checked that. But I'm going to go with A from obviously what I've kind of really heard and the previous years, but I feel like for me he is very, very close to being S. He's just got to find the game where his stats and his attributes just absolutely flourish. What is it? Is it Luis Hernandez? Yeah, I want to say it's Luis Hernandez. We've got 94 pace, 92 shooting, 90 dribbling. Again, I'm going to go with a B tier for him personally. Inzaghi, as much as actually I relatively enjoyed Inzaghi's strength kind of on the ball and obviously his shooting, again, unfortunately, if we're going against Drogba, we're going against Eto'o, we're going against Dalglish, unfortunately, he's going to be in that category. Kaka, another fantastic one, got to be in that A tier this year, looking very good, even with the downgrade of stats compared to his last moments. Incredible card. Keane, we're going to go with a solid B. Think he's very good at his role, but again, not necessarily showing a massive amounts. Closer, and it's funny with Closer as well, he's got the pace. It just doesn't seem like he does. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt in general, because I actually do think this card looks fantastic, but is a B tier in my opinion. Kluivert, again, solid B. He is probably going from B to C for my books. Every time I've played with him recently, just not quite got it. In terms of Coman, it is a shame this guy is not like a CDM or something, because look at them stats for a centre-back, having 91 shooting, 93 defending. That doesn't look right. I've definitely got to check this out, because that could be a printing error. It could be just something that's happened, but goddamn, no, that is absolutely 100% right. That is incredible. So for me, just purely for the fact that I want to try that card out, and I've not actually seen that before. I don't even know if I can check the previous years from here, but that looks incredible. We'll go with an A tier. I can imagine he's more probably B, but for a CDM, for a centre mid, to be honest, you're looking fantastic stuff. Lahm, again, going to go in the A. Love his CDM version. I think it's way better than his right back and left back versions. Lampard, we're going to go with B. Larson, we're going to go with A. Laudrup B. Lineker B. Litmanen B. Figo A. Makalele B. Maradona. How have I missed Maradona? So we're just gone a few at a time here, because we're going to be keeping the watch time up, but also not going like for 30 minutes, just because we've got another section to do. We're looking at Lineker, again, good striker, just not quite what we're made of. Figo's always been fantastic. Larson was a funny one, because I think in a previous tier list, I whacked him either at B or C, and actually I went and used him. Actually a really good striker. Not really used him heavily or memorable enough to kind of know, but most definitely better than I thought. Litmanen, again, good card, just unfortunate that he's just naturally not there with that 4-star. Makalele, again, very, very bog standard for a 91. Bobby Moore, fortunately, is going to be a B. Nakata is one of them ones that you've got to absolutely love. You never want to pack him, but you've got to love him. He's managed to get a prime moments under 90 rated, which I don't know how many there is, but he's probably going to be one of the only ones. Unfortunately for me, he's going to be bog standard at an 89B, or C in fact. Nedved, fantastic cards, going A. Big boy JJ, 100% going in that A. Owen, again, Owen is one of them ones that I think you could get a very, very good card. The stats read good, but unfortunately he's just not quite up there with the S tier. I feel like definitely on a low standard of A, just purely based upon other strikers that we've got. Petit, we're going in that A, got to be done. Pirlo is going straight in the B. Again, very much like a Beckham. He's got the passing, he's got the dribbling, but unfortunately, animation-wise, just naturally how he is all round, not unfortunately there. Pires, see, I kind of liked Pires, but I've got to be realistic. He is going to be a B. Raul, definitely going in that A. Rijkaard going in the B. We've then got Riquelme. I feel I used him, and I really want to kind of go I want to go B with him. I feel like last year he was definitely in that C category. He just wasn't used. He just physically cannot be used. Whereas this year, definitely a lot better. My man Roberto Carlos has got to be in that A, 100%. And actually, even though Rivaldo, I feel like there is so many mixed opinions with him, very much like a Socrates, I actually really rate Rivaldo. Just naturally on the ball for me, he's always been fantastic. Maybe a little bit biased because I love Brazilian icons, but I'm going to stick him in the A. So there we go again. If you want to pause and have a look, again, comment down below for part 2. And then we are going to now switch over to the final amount. So we have got the final amount here. Noticed already that Van der Sar is not clicked on dynamic, but we move. I think we've got 29 to go, and we're going to whack the big one straight in. So we get Vieira done. We get Zidane. Incredible card. Absolutely stunning. Then we've got Yashin's a funny one. I mean, I'll get to Yashin. Socrates, Zola. Don't know. I feel like we've had a lot of the big ones, so I'm pretty sure, by the looks of it, we've got the big ones. Rooney. I'm going to be biased and kind of wanting Mines, but I'm going to whack him in A purely for the fact that I just don't think I can get away with putting him with that sort of caliber. Very, very good card. Very good striker, but I feel like top end of A rather than S. Rui Costa, we're going to go with a C. Nothing really special about him. Bog standard. We also couldn't get rid of the D category. It is a default. Not a lot we can do there. I don't even know if we can click the settings. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Ignore me. Ian Rush, going with a C, obviously. Then we go for Schmeichel. Actually really like Schmeichel, so we're going to go with the A. Scholes, very much like the Lampard Gerrard. It's got a bit about him, but to be fair, I'm going to go with C just purely for the fact that Lampard and Gerrard seem to have a little bit more Scholes. Unfortunately, just cannot do it. Schweinsteiger, beautiful card. Right mid, most definitely not. Still whack him in that centre mid. We're going to go with a B on the premise that he's going to be a centre mid at the very minimum. Socrates, we're going in with A. Seedorf's going to be A. Shearer, nice dynamic, B. Shevchenko, A. Sanchez, A. Stoichkov, really good card. If you've ever used Stoichkov, looking at him in general, where we're going for like the prime mid base, kind of looks okay. When you play with him, not a bad card, very skillful, very nice on the ball, decent dribbling as well. Trezeguet, previously used, he is going to go with the C. Then we go with Suker, we're going to go with a B with him. We're going Van Basten, again, heavily used. We've managed to pack his, I think base is the only icon we've packed this year, but we have used every version in terms of what we've got from SBCs. We've had his base tradable, his mid in an SBC, and now his prime in an SBC. So hopefully we stay away from his moments because we don't want it, because he is a B. Then Van der Sar, again, solid keeper. We're going with A. Same with Yashin. We're going to jump the bullet straight in there with him. Van Nistelrooy, I'm going to go with B because I feel like he's going to have a little bit about him, but not enough to go into that A. Van Persie is obviously going into the A. Veron, very, very good box to box. Really surprised me actually. Whacking a shadow on him, best thing you'll do. Vidic, again A. I think Vidic for me got really hard done by because I do think that naturally he is better than what the card shows. I feel like a 92, 93 has got to be up there for him, but I can also understand where the ratings are coming from. Vieri, it's got to be a C for me, unfortunately. Zanetti's going to be the A. Xavi, unfortunately, has to be a B, purely for the fact that in the game, just doesn't translate amazingly. I feel like you could argue for A, but I think for me, he definitely needs to be an S category in terms of actual history, but that's where he's going to stay. Ian Wright's going to be with a B, Zambrotta is going to be with the A, and finally, finish off with Zola, he's going to be in the A as well. So that is the final list. Like I say, if there's any that you'd want to change or you'd want to kind of see different, let me know. Let me know your opinions on what you kind of think. If you think Zola should be an S, let me know. Actually give me a reasoning for it, and because I'll definitely take these forward. I know I've got a lot of moment reviews to do, so I can definitely bring these into them and kind of get your comments to almost reflect on in each review. It's absolutely brilliant to see. If you did stay the whole way through and maybe that subscribe button is still red, make sure you go down below and click it. If you did enjoy, make sure you do like though, and also if I have missed anybody, do hit it down in the comments. I know you will, and I'll put them in a category in the comments. So stay tuned for the next one, and I'll catch you in a bit. Peace.